guitar balls I've seen so far. People up and down the beat.
Yeah, it's like, you know, when you make music or do art or whatever, like you're trying to communicate something, and when people understand that and get touched by it, when they feel what you say, then you feel understood, and that's what makes you happy. If you know what I mean, like when people understand the feelings you're trying to communicate and they can relate to it, then it's like you're uniting with people you don't know, and that's the greatest feeling, to feel understood, you know. That's why you do it, because you want to have this greater understanding. You want to be like uniting in this feeling or in these thoughts, you know, about stuff.
It's not your fault, no.
I don't know, because, you know, it depends on how the people will react to it. I mean, if people would come to me and say, oh, I can really feel this, and I've you know, I feel the same way, and it helps me, you know, then I would get very, very happy. That's my biggest achievement as a musician. That would be to make people feel that, you know. Because, I mean, the reason why I've become a musician is because I went back in the days, or even now, like sometimes get touched by music and feel like, oh yeah, I totally can relate to that, and that, you know, oh, it gives you a feeling of being together in it, you know, being together in these feelings, and in this, you know, if you're angry about stuff, or if you're sad, if you have a hard edge, or if you're angry about society, about life in general, and you feel like, oh, this person feels the same way as me, and, you know, through this music, and you know, it's just everything like makes sense, you know, and so you want to do something yourself. Yeah, I definitely think, I mean, with pop music, you can say you tend to reach a wider audience if you're lucky, and so of course you can say what you mean. I mean, if you have something like your political statements and stuff like that, like it's everything, you can communicate whatever you want, you know, but I mean, it has to be truthful, it has to be because you have to, you know, like because it comes from your heart, and you need to say these things, and you need to communicate this stuff to people. Okay. It shouldn't just be for the fuss of it.
Don't you cry when she goes.
It was a big experience. I mean, I remember just before I was to meet him for the first time, I couldn't believe it. You know, I was just like, no, he's not going to turn up because this is too crazy. But then when he turned up, I was just like, you know, and then, but then, I mean, then it was totally relaxed. He's such a cool guy. He's so down to earth, and he's just being creative and productive all the time. Just, you know, he works with so many people, like all around the world, like upcomers and established artists. Like, to him, it's just all about creating new and exciting music and getting stuff done, you know. And I really admire him for that kind of, you know, way of doing his thing. Yeah, I mean, I guess a lot of musicians around the world nowadays, I guess, are just very curious and like open to the fact that you could borrow from each other, and that different sounds can be exciting. It shouldn't just be like, you know, like every genre is borrowing from weird genres all the time. Not weird genres, but very different genres all the time, because that's, you know, nowadays you have so many genres and so much music, so you have to just like you know, try to take a bit from this and that, and, you know, to mix it up and to make it new and exciting. So I guess I think it makes totally sense. When you are a musician or an artist or whatever you are, you know, you should always just be truthful and be like, this is, I mean, I know this sounds cheesy, but you should just be, I'm like this, and I like this, and I like that, and, you know, not be ashamed that you maybe like something that's a bit not cool or anything. It doesn't matter. I mean, the most uncool thing I could imagine is a person trying to be something they're not and trying to hide something in their past. Fuck that, you know. I mean, what makes a person cool and interesting is when they're just being themselves and just being like, yeah, I can be, you know, like, it's okay to not be totally perfect and not to have everything like being in perfect order, you know. Fuck that, you know. Really, I mean, I think you should just, it doesn't matter, you know. The thing is, because I don't really walk around and play a lot of music, like when because I get too confused with the own music in my head and stuff. So I don't, I'm not that type who always put on a record or something.
So when you're touring, you don't have music?
Well, yeah. The other day we were actually listening a lot to Iron Maiden, and that was very awesome.